All right, everybody. I'm going to show you all how to get the TAS on Bull 1, or at least try, or do a slightly slower strategy that will also get you a really fast time. I'm just going to cover a lot here, um, but I've been meaning to do this for a while, and then I kind of stopped playing the game. But now I'm going to do it. I'm going to sit down and I'm going to record it. So here we go. First thing is you got to get 2 stars in phase 1. So you're trying to do something like this. Here's an 18 and 2, which is what you want. But as we're probably about to find out, this could be bad. It could be good though. Oh, okay, so I did it on the first time. So there's one frame of 18 that is the frame you want. You have to land on this frame to tie the TAS. You can go slower than it or faster than it, and you can still get a really fast time. If you go slower than it, you can still get a 52 even, and you can still get like a low 53 if you're early. But this one magic frame is the very last frame before the clock ticks over to 19. So if the clock ticks over to 19, you lost at least a frame and you were too slow. But you can still play the fight out and get a fast time. The strategy is unaffected by getting a 19. You just can't tie the TAS. If you go earlier, you have to do a slightly different strategy, which I will explain a little bit later, which is like a handful of frames slower. It's what the old world record of 53.25 does. But if you want to do the TAS strategy, you have to be on the very last frame of 18 or slower. But once you get there, so this is a save state. This is actually the fast save state. This is what happens if you go too fast. He opens up a rolling jab. If you're on the right frame of 18, he just stands there, which is important. So I'm going to try my best to explain how this works before diving into it because this one is really hard to talk and play on. But your goal is to your goal with these first 2 punches is to get him on the very first frame of him throwing his first hook. There's four points in this fight where you can lose time. There's phase 1, which is where if you go too slow, you can lose time. You can lose time on this punch, and then there's two instances in phase 3 where you can gain or lose time on him. Everything else in this fight is either buffered or otherwise on a exact schedule. So there's no gaining or losing time anywhere else in phase 2 actually, because of how precise you have to be. And I believe the entire phase 2 is buffered except for one difficult punch after the star punch. But I'll just show you the openings. So that was too early. There it is. So you see how I intercepted him right into it, and then he stood there because if you go too early, you hit him. Or if you go too early, you hit him, but then he goes right into it, and you can't get the second star punch off because he hits you. So you have to hit him on the very first frame of his hook. It's a really awkward timing, and there's no real buffer for it. It's really awkward, and this is part of what makes tying the TAS on Bull so difficult, is that you don't really have a consistent way to line up your star punch. Like, you kind of just have to feel it out. There is a way to do it where you can buffer the star punch, but you have to punch him really late when his gloves drop. Like, really late. Like, I'll show you. Like, it's kind of ridiculous. See, that was too fast. Too fast. Too fast. I wouldn't recommend this method. But if you want to try and get good at it, it's there. There it was. See? Um, so then right after um, right after that first star punch, you're gonna do a max damage star punch on him with max damage inputs. And I'm gonna assume you guys already know what that looks like from playing single segment um, and knowing the single segment strategy because I would not recommend like trying this if you don't already understand the fundamentals of bull. So I would recommend learning what that is. So I'm not going to like learning what that is through single segment and then coming back to this if you really want to try doing the TAS strategy. Um, but it's my cue that I use for it is I hold up basically until I see his gloves up and then I release. So I'm holding up and then his gloves pop up and I release. I think you have like a 4 frame window to release up. So not a crazy difficult timed punch, but it's not the easiest, and I would screw it up occasionally. Um, and then after that, you buffer a face punch, you let go of up as it's going off, and then you have the punch that makes this fight really difficult. Or there's 2 ways to do it actually. Both of them are really stupidly difficult. I'll show you both, um, but they're both really hard. Um, so the first one is you're going to do a right gutter, and so after that buffered face punch, you raise his guard and throw a right gut punch, and then as that punch is going off, you're misdirecting it. So you face punch, you let go of up. After the punch lands, you repress up. You repress up, let go of up to throw a gut punch, and then as that gut punch is going off on him, you repress up so that way it misdirects and goes through. This is all frame perfect. You have to do this as fast as possible. You can't even lose a single frame, otherwise the rest of the fight does not work. So I'll show you up to that point. I can't guarantee that it will be fast enough, but I'll get one that's fast enough so you can see what it looks like at the end of this whole thing. I'll show you the whole phase as it goes. So punching, start punch, max damage, face punch, gutter. Whoops. Face punch, star punch, max damage, face punch, gutter. And I don't know if it worked or I don't know if it was fast enough. You have to get the lucky star on that and get a 1 in 4 and get 1 in 4 rolling jabs. So it's 1 in 8 that you even that it even matters if you hit that punch, which is very discouraging. And it was very frustrating for me when I was going for this fight. So Salt found that variation. Before we found that, the order was reversed. So you'd buffer a misdirected right gut punch, and then you would throw a delayed face punch that was delayed by exactly 1 frame. Not only is it delayed by 1 frame, but your B press has to be 1 frame in front of your up press. So you're doing 2 frame perfect inputs on back-to-back frames. And this is how the old world record was gotten. This is how we knew how to do it until Salt realized that you could reverse the punches and make it a lot easier to do. Not easy, but easier. So face punch, star, max damage, gutter, and you have to. I mean, it's a really difficult motion to hit B on 1 frame and then up on the next and get it through. Star punch, max damage, misdirect, and then you hit him in the face, and that's all frame perfect. But you can't buffer it. You have to delay by 1 frame. So I would recommend the first one. After that, basically free execution wise. You just have to get lucky and have him give you rolling jabs. So you just after that gut punch lands, you just throw 2 star punches and then you buffer 3 face punches. And if you get lucky, he will go down at 39 seconds and you will have 3 stars in your bank. I'll show you the full phase. It might take a second, but I'll demonstrate what that whole phase looks like when you put it together. Come on. I mean, I haven't done this in a bit, so I'm a little rusty with it. Okay, he's standing still. See, he went into his rolling jabs. So, he can't go into his rolling jabs on that second punch. That means that gut punch was slow. So... Oh, you can also tell if you got the gut punch fast enough, even if you don't get this star, if he gives rolling jabs. So if he gives rolling jabs, but you were tight on the punch, he'll dodge both of your star punches. Which indicates that you were fast enough. If not, he'll take the second star punch. Okay, like this. See, he took it, which means I was slow again. Which is a common theme with this. Like, you have to be... I mean, it's double frame perfect, because you need a frame perfect up release and a frame perfect gut punch. So... Try to get him down for you guys. See, that was probably frame perfect. The way he stood there afterwards, most likely a frame perfect. And this is replacing the way the TAS does it, which it does 2 face punches, but the second one has a 1 frame up release that is just not possible for humans to get with any semblance of consistency. I remember Salt accidentally did it one time, but we couldn't figure out how to consistently do it or any set of inputs that was any easier than releasing up for 1 frame. And, I mean, if you could consistently somehow do that, it would actually save you, I believe, 2 frames over this strategy and make the TAS a lot easier to tie, but we don't know how to... Like, we haven't found a way to do it consistently, and there's not really any way that you could do that. This is probably it. Yep, see, he stood still, and then you just buffer 3 face punches. On the second one, you need a lucky star. So I got 2 stars there. You need a lucky star there, which is 50-50. So you have 3. But then I'll show you guys the alternate phase 2 now, which is a little bit slower. But it's fully buffered except for that punch, except for the difficult punch, which is an advantage. It's more consistent. And the way you do that is the only difference at the start of the fight is instead of going face punch, delay, star, you just buffer it into his rolling jab and then you quick dodge into a star. Buffer, quick dodge into a star, max damage, and then you do the rest of the phase as you would. And it's a few frames slower. I think you can get a 53 flat with it, but I don't know if you can get 52. I don't think you can. I think 53 flat is the fastest you can go. And then phase 3, phase 3 is nothing crazy. If you're just going for like 52, you just buffer, right quick dodge into a star, face punch, buffer, face punch. Okay. You need the rolling jab pattern again. And then you just send 3 stars right down Broadway. And then you buffer a face punch. And the fight's over. So that's a 52.97. Um, the TAS for this fight is 52.82. And the way you tie that is you don't lose any frames over the course of the entire fight. So there's four places where you can lose time. You have to hit the magic frame in phase one. You have to get 18 on the very last frame. You have to land your first star punch of phase two on the earliest possible frame of his hook. And here's the points in phase three where you can lose time. So this little buffer is actually one frame too slow. And what I thought was like, why not do a left quick dodge? Well, left quick dodge is 2 frames slower than a right quick dodge. So that will be 1 frame too early and he'll dodge. So the only way you can time this star punch to hit him on the very first frame of his hook is to either do a left quick dodge pseudo buffer and then try and hit him 1 frame after you come back to center, or you just dry time the star punch. I prefer the pseudo buffer. I think dry timing the star punch would be basically impossible, and I've messed around with it a little bit, but it's enough to decide that you would be a psycho if you try to do it. So I'm only going to show you the left quick dodge, but remember, this is not a true buffer. You have to delay 1 frame after you get back. And then the other point, the fourth and final point where you can lose time on this fight is when you punch him in the face before you unload all your stars. There's nothing special about it. You just have to hit him on the first frame. So I'm going to show you what TAS phase 3 looks like, and if I do it right, the state will show 52.82. This is a frame perfect state up to this point, so it will show the TAS time. I think this is good. This feels like a TAS. Yep. So that was a frame perfect phase 3. I mean, all in all, really difficult to do all that frame perfectly. And obviously it's bull 1, so his retriability is awful. You have to fight Don 1, Hippo, Tiger, Bull, and then every time you lose to the Bull, you have to go back and fight Tiger. Then you get another crack at Bull. And then you do that one more time, and then you have to reset the whole thing and do it all over again, start at Don 1. So the only way I would advise like doing a heavy grind of this would be to do 2 consoles at a time, which is what I did for most of my world record grind. But at the end when I got it, I was only on 1 console because I was in my college dorm and I didn't have a space for 2. So, but I wouldn't recommend doing 1 console. That would take you forever. I mean, it took me over 80 hours to get 53 flat. But yeah, and then your odds are, 1 in 1,000, a little bit worse than 1 in 1,000, which I don't think I need to tell you how awful that is when you only get about 3 attempts every 10 minutes. And you have to do everything frame perfectly if you want a chance at the TAS. This one, I might eventually try, but I don't know. It's dumb. Him and Macho are both dumb. But yeah, I thought I'd record this for everybody because there's not really a resource on how to do this. Like we kind of had to, myself, I got some help from Salt, who figured some stuff out. I got some help from Pap, who helped me figure some stuff out. But this wasn't really documented that well.